What do you think is scarier? The idea that we are alone in the universe or the idea that we aren't? Why? Tell me OP. Have you read the 3-Body Problem series? I haven't read this, but the description of the Dark Forest theory sounds a lot like the plot of an earlier book called The Killing Star. The idea being that any race capable of accelerating something to an appreciable percent of light speed is then also able to destroy any planet with almost not warning. Just lob something with enough mass at a planet at a 5% the speed of light and the planet will be devastated with little recourse. So, if you detect another intelligent life form, and you have this capability, you should assume they do too and destroy them first, since you can't be sure they aren't thinking the same thing. Which leads to a galaxy of species laying low for fear of getting whacked. Yes, I won't spoil too much, but that comes up. There's a chilling sequence in the books where a low-ranking monitoring officer of a super-evolved race of beings on a ship just cruising through space identifies evidence of another civilization, follows their normal protocol, and just casually releases a device to destroy them. It's a simple administrative task. Really stuck with me. Why did that just give me real-life chills? Read the series. Absolutely the best sci-fi I have ever read. I think about the ruins of ancient civilizations on other planets and how absolutely fascinating it would be to explore them. Imagine visiting a planet and the civilization was on par with our ancient Greeks or something similar. That made me immediately think of gay aliens. Behold, Galiens. Imagine visiting one just slightly more advanced than ours that was reduced to Stone Age technology just a few decades before we discovered it. Neither is scary, because if we're alone, then we have nothing to worry about. If we're not, then the sheer vastness of space is a pretty good indicator that we're not likely to ever make contact with another intelligent species. I find it more depressing knowing that there are so many galaxies and planets out there, that there must be billions of strange and exotic places that we'll never see or explore. We're pretty much confined to our own solar system unless we develop a technology to skip across time and space, which is scary to imagine. True. How amazing would it be to planet hop? Forget Europe. I'm vacationing in another galaxy. Hard psychedelic drugs would like to have a word. 5MEODMT enters the chat. Joe Rogan is now following you. That we are alone. Given how massive the universe is in space and time, the idea that Earth is the only place where any life form exists is unsettling. Everyone seems to be assuming that other life means humanoid or intelligent. To me it just means any life form. Carbon-based or made of elements unknown to our galaxy. There has to be something else. Let's imagine the life of a cell. All it knows is that it is surrounded by other cells in a small area which it thinks is its big world. I believe we are like cells to the current imaginable universe in contrast to an even bigger reality. That's how I've looked at it. If you look at the world through this lens, that the size of things doesn't really matter, but how it operates. You can sort of see how the universe is all patterns, all the way down. Size absolutely matters. Physical laws work the same way for microorganisms as larger beings, because our cellular units and molecules are actually the same size. We've seen things as big as they can't get. After that they collapse into singularities, so nothing can be bigger than that. Also, unlike microorganisms, we have the capability to see far enough away to grasp things much larger than us. Is it possible that there is another set of physical laws governing some universe of which ours is just an atomic particle? Sure, but you can literally just say anything at that point. Well, the idea that we'll never know. There are lots of paradoxes and problems regarding aliens, if they are there at all. Have they developed technology advanced enough to create electromagnetic signals? And if yes, why we haven't seen any signs throughout the visible universe? Our civilization can be easily spotted for everyone in a car 110 li radius with radio telescope, and we can't spot anything in billions of light years around. On the other hand, we have animals on Earth dated hundreds of millions of years, and they haven't evolved into space dwellers. Honestly, it doesn't matter if we are or not alone. We'll never reach to the stars unless we find out how to break laws of physics. I'm pretty sure everyone alive right now will never know. Maybe it is just universally not possible to travel such long distances in space. Maybe all other species don't even want to do that. Maybe. All we can do is wonder. Cause we ain't discovering new planets and life forms in my lifetime. I don't know man, 2020 has been a wild ride so far. To be honest, if aliens invade Earth tomorrow, I'll probably be like mad. At least it'd be something exciting. The idea that we're alone. Because it would imply that our existence is winning the astronomical lottery, and this is all we're trying to do with it. They've had a couple billion years, sir, and the best they could come up with was making memes about a gorilla who was shot. Ugh, not again. Let's scrap it and start over. Take 14,960. Sounds like the good place. We're in the bad place. The idea that we are alone. It gives me a feeling of loneliness and that there is not as much out there to look for. Existence would not be as interesting. Next best thing is to shoot bacteria into space and hope it hits something, then we will have created aliens. Would they still be aliens if they originated from Earth? Depends if they claim citizenship there. Nah, it depends on if they try to take our jobs. That we are alone. It would give credence to the simulation theory. Given the number of stars being circled by planets that we can see from Earth, let alone the rest of the universe, the odds are laughably small that on one of those distant planets the same building blocks didn't exist. This planet is not unique. But simulation theory is the least scary explanation for why we are alone. To me, it's actually the most comforting explanation, because it means there exists superior intelligence and it somehow cares about our existence, even if only tangentially. The more scary, depressing explanations are: we are the first. It means we're screwing up a very unlikely opportunity. We are one of many, but the only one right now. It means civilizations like ours are all doomed to collapse and extinction, e.g. the great filter is ahead of us. If we are the first, we won't know if we screwed up until it is too late. Until there is only one human left alive and no potential to repopulate, we have not failed as a species. If we are one of many, the concept of the filter could exist, but is uncertain. Certainly on our planet we would be the only one either to make it past or all others have crashed into it, but we simply haven't observed enough to judge if the universe even has a filter. My personal favorite theory is that we are on a giant Truman Show. They watch us for fun, and occasionally throw a curveball to get better ratings. And there I am on the toilet pondering if an alien life form thinks we've failed. But what if it's just a science fair project and this millennia is the last day of the fair? Disappointed that the beings in his simulation only earned a 42 on the Zapad-Znomi intelligence scale, bringing his science fair grade down to a low C. Zork angrily reached down to yank out the power cord on his simulation universe project. Mathematically there should be life. I think it would be far more frightening that we are alone. It would indicate there was something very weird going on. Yeah, the fact that people are the most intelligent beings in the universe, LMAO. Honestly, people like to shit on humans a lot, but the vast majority are competent at the very least. Competency is only relative to everyone else though. If everyone is smart, no one is smart, because you're just normal. Sure, we are more competent than a lot of animals, but in an analysis of only humans, half of all humans have a below average competency. Note, in this example I'm using average in reference to median, not the mean. I have recurring dreams, nightmares of an alien invasion. It usually follows some kind of theme where there are instantaneous global sightings and amped up military engagements. Reconnaissance to determine the potential threat. I live close to a large airbase, by the way. I'll see it pop up on the TV, and whenever my family and I go outside we will spot a group of them. It's usually just a blip, like they are turning their cloaking devices on and off. But it's one of the most terrifying feelings I've ever experienced. Sheer terror and panic grip us and we all confirm what we saw. Nothing I've experienced in real life has filled me with that type of dread. For some reason I'm always convinced there is nowhere to hide, and not knowing what is the exact threat gives me a feeling of futility, helplessness. There is nothing we can do to stop them from having their way with us. Sometimes it feels like they just start bombing the whole planet at once or something. Earthquakes and intense weather suddenly appear and the horizon just shuts down with either black or grey walls like lights being turned off in a long hallway, till the darkness closes in on me. At the end it always feels like there was something we could have done to prevent it from happening, but we procrastinated, didn't care, and that's why the aliens came. A few times the sky literally tore open and what felt like angels, demons, interdimensional beings just came spewing through, like projectile vomit through a wet paper bag. Not much I can remember following those instances, just sheer terror. Credit to N. by Stephen King. I'm sure reading King's and Lovecraft's works plus watching Hollywood have influenced these dreams, nightmares. But I still can't help but feel like being alone and the universe is worse. It seems like the aliens come because we fricked up the planet and they use it as an intergalactic sort of pit stop. They got tired of letting us destroy nature or something. It's not like they were evil, it was like they had some sort of grand scheme way beyond what some hairless chimps could comprehend. I started having nightmares like that a long time ago when I first watched the Halo 4 Forward into Dawn movie. Seeing the invisible elite slowly pick off cadets was creepy as frick. Well, until the chief arrived. I was reading your description and just thinking this guy should write a book. Then I got to the shout out to Stephen King and H.P. Lovecraft and it all made sense. You're a great writer, by the way. You should explore that if you haven't already. That we aren't. If we're alone then we are the best and worst of the universe. I don't want to run into a species worse than us. Valid point. Also great filters. Hopefully we've beaten the odds and have managed to secure a place in a hostile universe. Great video by Kurzgesagt. We haven't beaten the odds, we'd need to at least become a multi-planetary species for that. One asteroid could wipe us out at the moment. Don't forget the gamma rays. Subscribe and click the notification bell to get the best of British.